All right, guys, we're gonna do a little shoulder workout today. I did a back and tries yesterday. It was kind of long-winded, so I'm gonna try and knock out a quick 20 to 25 minute shoulder workout. I'm not gonna ramble too much to try and keep this as watchable as possible. One of the things I've always been guilty of doing or not doing when I was younger is always starting with front delts or presses, because I wanted to get that, what I thought was getting the side delt really well, which was, but it's kind of caused my rear delts to kind of fall behind with regard to progress. So I've started to always start doing rear delts before any other exercise when I'm training shoulders, so that I'm not doing them at the end. And again, I would do like lateral raises first, or front raises, military press, behind the neck press, dumbbell presses, all those things first. And I would wait to do rear delt exercises last. And what I found out is that I was just so tired that I would always kind of half-ass the rear delt end, if you will. So I'm switching strategies. I'm gonna do rear delts first. I do traps on shoulder day. So I'm gonna go back and forth and do supersets between delts and traps. So without further ado, I won't ramble too much. I'm gonna talk a little bit, but and what I really like, really grown to really love with rear delts is this dual cable exercise, where I'll use the ball on the cable machine, and we're doing a crossover. You'll see a lot of people at the gym that are doing it where your hands above your head and you're coming out here, and that's cool and all, and it hits your rear delts and it works, but you involve a lot of your traps when you do that. So what I like to do is your hands are still gonna, the settings are still on the same height, but instead of coming up here, you come down here. And what you're doing is you're forcing your rear delts to do all the work, kicking back this way. So that's what I'm doing now. You cross over, kind of put yourself in kind of a lat spread, and then kick back like this, and try and focus on really hitting the rear delt. Kind of caught myself cheating a little bit. The way I like to think of this exercise is, if you sort of put yourself into a lat spread, and you're like this, and you're crossed over, you're kind of forcing your rear delts to do the action. If you're kind of like relaxed on this, I feel like your lats become more involved, because they'll spread all the way on the way up, and they're gonna kind of involve a little bit more of them. So for that reason, I like to spread them out to begin with on the exercise as I grab it. And so you're already kind of here and you're pressing out. So I'm hitting the back of the delt there, this area. I'm gonna go directly into shrugs. And I'm not gonna overcomplicate things when I'm running around the gym today. I'm gonna stay in this one area. But I'm just gonna do dumbbell shrugs. Really simple. I'm gonna go straight up and down. I like to do traps on back and shoulder day, but the difference is on back day, I'll do the transverse part of the trap, which is the middle part of the trap, and I'll end up doing them on like an incline bench with dumbbells is usually the way I'll do it. And I'll just do this motion where I'm squeezing the back of my traps on like a backward motion. And then on shoulder day, I'll do the top of the traps where I'm pulling up. So I'm hitting up here. So the difference is shoulder day, I'm trying to focus on the upper trap basically, and on back day, I hit the middle the transverse part of the trap. So again, I'm starting light. I'm gonna pyramid set. Sometimes I like to roll them how I'm doing now, especially when I'm on a lighter, like this is only like 40 pounds. So, you know, when it's lighter, I like to roll it a little bit. It may just be in my head, but I feel like it gives a better range of motion. I mean, some people disagree, and I used to be one of those people where I don't think there's a difference, but I just think, at least on the warm-up sets, when you have the ability to roll them, do so, because on the heavier sets, they're going to be so heavy that you're not going to be able to roll them back and forth so freely. And I don't know if you can see from that angle, what I mean by roll is, instead of just doing this on a shrug, I'm rolling them forward, and I'm rolling them back, and I'm rolling them forward, and I'm rolling them back. And I just feel like it gives a good, like, see all that meat there? I feel like you hit the front better on the way forward, and the back on the way back. So you just really can hit this whole trap when you roll it. Again, when I go heavier, which we're gonna pyramid up, it's gonna be, you know, when I say heavier, for me, I don't put a whole lot of load on my spine anymore. But when I go up to like 80 or 90 pounds, I'm not gonna be rolling them. I'm just gonna be trying to get really good deep and all the way up. So, yeah, so I'm gonna go right back into the rear delt exercise. That first one was kind of light, but again, I'm gonna spread my lats out and then try and use my rear delts only. Really, you should kind of pause at the end. You kind of really flex them. And I wasn't really going as far back on that first set as I should have. I can really start to feel that burn on the back of my shoulders. Now, I caught myself really not focusing again, and kind of in the middle of that set, started doing them where I was locking them out further in the back. So I preach on this every time I do a video, but I'm gonna keep doing it because it's important, is thinking about what you're doing, because I could have got caught there where I was more worried about the camera angle and you guys seeing it properly and blah, 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 going through the motions. And then I realized, you know, I needed to really think about hitting the back of my delts. And so when you can probably see in the video where I'm pausing longer and I'm using the negative motion to control the weight, because it's not just about pushing the weight down, it's also about controlling the weight on the way up. Same way with like traps. You're doing traps. When I was younger, I thought it was just about getting the weight up, right? Where, you know, I'd have my workout partner would put his fingers under my ears, and you try to pinch their fingers is the way we would do it. So that's how you get big traps. It's just the way up. But really, it's also the way down. So the weight is pulling you from your hands, and so it gives you that stretch. So all about, and that's really what I learned about getting a bigger traps, is going a little bit heavier, but letting the weight pull me down and controlling it. And you can see, you know, it gives you that really, that defined line between the top of your delt and your trap and your pec. Okay, so I'm gonna go up weight on shrugs. And just for video purposes, I'm gonna come over here and just kind of do it, but you can see what I'm talking about. So it's lighter, so I'm rolling it. And something else I always, say on every video, when you can use a mirror, use it. Now I'm able to use the camera or the cell phone image, and I can kind of watch what I'm doing. But I'll see a lot of people go, well, why are you bending your elbows? Because you should just be using your traps, right? Well, when I'm rolling it, I just naturally have that tendency to want to get higher. So my elbows will kind of get bent on the way up, and I think it's good. I think these are kind of a matter of an opinion, and I think whatever works best for you. Now, once I'm going heavier, and I'm just going straight up and down like this, I'm not gonna bend the elbows up so much because I'm not worried about rolling it back. But again, lighter weight, roll it. If you don't, try it out. If you don't like it, that's fine. Something that I personally like to do is that variation of the shrug. It's also something different. You got to start to get repetitive with your workouts, and routine is good, but trying different angles is always going to be good. All right, I'm going to go up here again. Those first two sets are really light. I'm going to try and push myself a little bit heavier on these. Doing partials on these, again, when I was younger, I just felt the range of motion was so much more important than the weight, and that's actually a good thing. But I do think on certain exercises like this, on a rear delt exercise, how do I put this? You involve your trap a lot and also your lat a lot on some of these exercises, especially like the reverse pec deck machine, where you're doing this like this, and you're hitting those, you're hitting the rear delt. But if you can kind of shorten the movement, you can go heavier. So you can do a partial here where and I'm just trying to really hit the back of my shoulder. Hopefully you can see it from this angle. If not, hopefully I've explained it better. But yeah, this is a lot heavier. So I'm going to try and slow the motion down. And really the top of this is helpful when you let the cable pull you all the way up. You're getting a better stretch. Now I do feel this in my lats, I'm not going to lie, but I also did back yesterday, so I'm really sore. My lats are sore anyway. So I might do one more of these. And then, now that I've got them warmed up and got them pretty good, I might contradict everything I just said and do the normal reverse grip on a high, up high. And that'll involve my traps. But right now, personally, after starting, I'm feeling that more in my lat than I want to. So I think at this moment I might switch, because then I think I'm going to isolate this rear delt better because I'm sore. I think it's a feel, and I think you should not mindlessly go into your workouts planning one exercise or 5 exercises and not be open-minded enough to change it on the fly, which is what I'm doing as we speak. So I'll come up over here again, just for video purposes. I'll probably stop rolling after this set. I think this is only like 70 pounds, but we're getting up there. So It's enough weight to, again, I was the kid that would, you know, shrug 130-pound dumbbells, and which is good when you're younger because you're trying to put on that mass, and I've already done that. And you know, you can never, I guess, get too big, I guess you could say, but you know, you start paying the price with your health, and you know, with my back in particular, it's just so bad whenever I have a lot of weight. I'm holding a lot of weight right now, and it's pulling my spine down. It's, you know, very similar to putting heavy weight on a barbell and doing squats. So at this point in my life, there's just not the need for that. You know, I've already gotten probably about as much mass as I'll ever want to have anymore. You get to a certain age, you carry around that kind of weight, and it's not comfortable anymore. So I'm gonna put these a little bit higher now, one notch higher. And this is where I'll do exactly what I said I wasn't gonna do, and I'm gonna keep it high. But I think for me, you know, I think, and I watch like Cutler, old school guys do it this way. They have it so high, and you're leaning back and doing it like this. And I've tried it that way a million times, and I always end up coming back to where I like it more on an even playing field. And it's just because I feel like I isolate my rear delt better that way. You know, when you're up in here and you're pulling back, for whatever reason, I don't get the same feel. I'm not saying I don't do it, because I do. I do all sorts of variations of this exercise, as should you. But for today, I'm gonna keep it more, you know, forehead level, I guess you could probably say. And even this is kind of, like, that's not this heavy. Yeah, I definitely felt that really good in my rear delt. So I'm getting to the point where I'm getting pretty loose. So I'm gonna jack this up to 80. And I'm just gonna do some straight shrugs. I'm not gonna bother walking it over here. I'm just gonna look at myself in the mirror. But you know, I'm getting a good pump already, and I'm only, what, 18 minutes in. So I didn't really warm up today. I did cardio earlier this morning and took a nap, but this is one of those days where I like to do shoulders. I like to do shoulders by themselves. It gives my other body parts a break, especially when I'm not doing any sort of press movements, which I'm not doing today. I'm not doing overhead presses with shoulders. I'm gonna do lateral raises, you know, and maybe some upright rows, and I'll be done. So I'm not even gonna really try to hit the front delts right now, because right now on my chest day, which is day after tomorrow, I'm doing a lot of heavy incline, and you're really nailing you're involving a lot of your front delts when you do that. So at this moment, at this phase in my rotation, I'm not doing front delts exercises because I'm hitting it on chest day. That changes. I'm not saying I don't do that, because I do that. But for right now, that's how I'm kind of approaching my workouts. And again, I change shit up all the time, man. I'll get in here, and you just saw me do it, you know, with the rear delt exercise. I get in here and think one thing, and I'm thinking, and I'm inside the muscle when I'm working out. And I'm like, man, I don't like that. I want to feel it burn more. So have the ability to kind of adapt. I'm gonna go up to 90. Let's go right to it. Yeah, that feels good. Now I love these power blocks, but that set there is kind of a home use version. I've got some commercial grades to go over there that go up to 175s, but they have rubber. They're rubber based, at least coated. But my point is, I beat these up pretty bad. That for whatever reason, when I put in the 80s and 90s, they stick. So sometimes I have to just jump from 70 to 90. I have to skip that 10-pound increment, you know. But I have it over there on that set. But I just don't feel like messing with the camera, so I'm staying in one place. Okay, I'll do this one more time. And you know, I've pyramided up, right? I started with the light weight. I started with higher reps. I'm gonna go up one more time, but I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna strip set. I did this yesterday with my back routine and my tricep routine. I like to do a strip set at the end where I'm taxing that muscle. So again, I call them crazy eights because I'll do 8, drop weight, 8, drop weight, 8, and I'm burning the rear delt all the way out. So I'm gonna bump this up to 100, and I'll drop to 80, then 60, and maybe 40, depending on how much gas I have left in the tank at the end. Yeah, that wasn't that bad. I might only drop 10 pounds on this one. We'll see. It is pretty light at this point, so I'll do a, you know, I'm not going to do a set to failure, but I'll do more on this last one, not down the others. Yeah, I got a really good rear delt pump to start my shoulder workout. So now my rear delts are on fire, and when I go into, you know, my lateral raises and possibly upright rows, my rear delts are fried already. So it's kind of good to, kind of like on chest day, you know, sometimes you start with flat bench and then sometimes you start with incline. So same thing with shoulders. Start with a different area of the shoulder one day as you would on each workout. That way you're not neglecting you know, your rear delts or your front delts or whatever. You're getting everything equally. shrugs without wasting any time. Okay. Yeah, so going, I like to do 2 body parts together at the same time. Like, I consider the trap, different, obviously it is, from the delt. So when I say I'm doing shoulders, I'm doing delts and traps. And you go from a delt exercise to a trap exercise. So you're essentially resting your delt while you're doing your traps and vice versa. Same thing applies to even leg day. If I'm doing quads, I'll do leg extensions and I'll go over and do leg curls and I'll go back and forth, back and forth. So I'm resting my hamstrings while I'm doing quads and vice versa. So I'm gonna stay right here and kind of do some lateral raises. Let's see, I'm not gonna go real heavy. I may go up, but sometimes I'm in a hurry today. I have to be at work here in like an hour, so I'm not gonna do one arm at a time, but really the best way to do these, I'll get on a bench, an incline bench, where I'm sitting like this, I'm leaning up against it, and I'll do it this way, one arm at a time. And that's a really good way to do it. Or even on the cables, you can do it on a cable, like behind your back, or I like between the legs, and it keeps pressure, better range of motion on that. But for time reasons today, I'm just going at this, and I'm gonna control the movement. So this isn't real heavy, but I tend to stop right about the top of the ears. And if you can not go so overly heavy on these, this is really effective, I could put some 50-pound dumbbells in my hands. These are 20s. I could put some 50s in my hands, and just do partials. And partials are great. They're good. They do work. You see a lot of guys do it. A lot of guys are just really believers in that. But I've always been a believer in range of motion, because I can guarantee you on a 50-pound dumbbell, I'm not getting it up to my ears. It's like gonna be in here, and that's good, but maybe I'll go up a little bit and do partials at the end here, but not right now. Okay. So what I think I'll do to stay with our traps, I'm gonna do one more set. So I really like dumbbell shrugs, I really do. It's something that just never gets old. I feel like it's super effective for building your traps. Like, I always wanted big traps when I was a kid. I remember when I was like in high school, and I'd see guys, and I didn't know what a trap was. I'm like, those big things on their shoulders, what are those called? And so I remember always wanting to have these. So I would train these from a very young age, and you just can't beat dumbbell shrugs, man. I do barbell shrugs, and I'll do them here in a second, but I really think that if you can master a dumbbell shrug, I feel like you get a better range of motion, because you can't really roll a barbell shrug, but I'll do barbell shrugs behind the back, and I'll do them in front. But for today, again, I'm kind of in that rush, so I'm just going to stick with dumbbell shrugs right now. And these dumbbells only go up to 100 pounds, so, or 90 pounds, sorry. But when you don't go that heavy, I've always felt that you can, if I turn these lights on, I forgot to turn these lights on. This might help a little bit. Sorry, I'm really new to this filming thing. But anyway, what was I saying? I forgot what I was saying. Whatever. Wasn't that important, really. So I'm gonna go back to the dumbbells. Again, control it. And you know, there's different ways to do these, and I do both. I always was taught, I used to train with a guy named Mike Scarcella who won Mr. USA in 1991 and 92. I graduated high school in 93. But I used to hire him, and he would train my legs because I was really one of those kids that had skinnier legs and wanted someone to push me. But on these, he always taught me to like you're pouring, you know, a glass of water at the top, where you kind of turn them in. You kind of pitch like you're pouring a glass of water. You come in like this. But over the course of getting older, I've also learned the value in doing the opposite and kind of keeping your thumbs higher. So I think both are correct. I've noticed that when I do keep my thumbs higher, I feel like I'm getting really the middle part of the deltoid really better. When I'm coming at the top and twisting like this, like I'm pouring a glass of water, I feel it in my rear delt, which again, both are great ways to do it. I think rotating is the answer, you know, because why not, if one guy's opinion is to turn your pinkies up and the other guy's opinion is to turn your thumbs up, well, hell, do them both, you know, like, so I tend to kind of change it as I go, like even from rep to rep. I'm going to turn my pinkies up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, then just neither, kind of stay neutral. So why not try all those different things? Because the reality is I'm nailing my delt, you know, it feels good. So being able to do all different angles on it is going to benefit you, you know, rather than sticking with something that you've just been taught over and over is the only way. There's not only one way. There's a million ways to do things, and you should try all of them, as long as you're staying, you know, with decent form and you're blasting the muscle group that you're trying to target, which is what I'm just doing right now. I think what I'll do here, I'm gonna come over here and do shrugs. Because I just mentioned behind the back shrugs, barbell shrugs, I have the ability to do them over here on the cable behind the back. Now you can stand in front and you're doing, you know, in the barbell shrug with your hands in front, you're really hitting, you know, the top of your trap. But when you have them behind your back, you really have a better stretch. So again, do them both. But for today, I'm gonna have them behind my back. And in this case, what's cool about on this machine is that because the cables are behind me, like at this angle, it's not just pulling, I'm not pulling the weight straight up, I'm pulling out as well. It's hard to see from this, but you know, imagine, you know, the cables are behind me, but they're down here. So I'm pulling up as opposed to just straight up. So it gives a different angle. I can't go as heavy over here because there's only 200 pounds on each side. And that's deceiving, that sounds like a lot, but it's on a cable machine. So it's not really the same as it would be on on a shrug, or for that matter, doing 200 pounds on a shrug is not a lot of weight. You know, typically you're going to try and do, you know, way more than that. Even with my back issues, I'm still not going to shrug anything less than like 225. You know, I'll do it to warm up, but you want to kind of, again, the down motion on a shrug, the weight pulling you down and your trap controlling the weight on its way down is just as important as it on the way up. What I'm doing is I'm leaning forward. You can probably see me in the mirror. There's a mirror here to this side. You can see I'm leaning forward. And I can do that with this exercise because physics is pulling me that way. So I'm leaning to counteract the weight, and I'm pulling the weight this way. I'm going to start, again, I'm just getting new to videoing my routines, and I have my buddy who films me a lot, and we've been doing shorts, but I've been just trying to do these full workouts on my own, and so the camera angle is going to be harder just because I have a tripod and I'm not moving it from one station to the other. I'm leaving it and I'm doing it, but I'm going to get him to record me and walk around with the camera here probably next week on different workouts to where I can show angles better. So just bear with me. This is again my first week really of recording on my own, and so I'm kind of learning how to do this and be as informative as possible and without being repetitive and annoying. So anyway, all right, so back to I'm going to go up a little bit of weight actually. Yeah, I'm going to go up a little bit of weight. So on these I might have to do, that's heavier for me. So I want to control it. Don't let the weight just kind of fall to my side. I'm going to control it. Get as high as I can. I really feel like I really feel as a youngster that I got so enamored with military press and barbell shoulder press that I just didn't appreciate, is the best way to put it, the value in these dumbbell exercises, lateral raises. I always did them, but I did them last, or I did them after. It was kind of like you always do squats first on leg day because you want to kill it, and then you do pitch and leg curl to kind of cool down. Some guys do it the other way around. I always like to stretch out first, go to the squat rack, get it over with. I kind of felt that way with shoulders. I wanted to go to the barbell presses and knock those out so that I could get the most important things in my mind at that time to get bigger shoulders, and it's worked. I have good shoulders, one of my better qualities, but I really feel like you can get a whole lot of the same benefit, if not more, by doing proper lateral raises. And you also can take out the tricep part, obviously, because you're not pressing with your tricep, you're just using your delts. And so that gives you enough rest before your tricep workout. Or for example, yesterday, and another reason why I've switched my thought process is because yesterday I did back and triceps. Right now I'm in a time, that's the word I'm looking for. I'm doing certain body parts in different days now, and so right now it's falling on back and triceps. And so I just did triceps yesterday. So me doing presses today doesn't make a whole lot of sense because my triceps are done from yesterday. So by me doing just lateral raises, I'm giving myself some recovery time for my triceps. And again, I have chest day after tomorrow, so I need to let them recover. So again, when I was younger, I would probably overtrain because I would do things like that back to back on days where I'm doing triceps over and over, and you're not giving yourself enough recovery time. I think that when you're younger, you can get away with it because your body will recover faster, obviously, but I'm just doing things differently now. I'm gonna go directly into the same exact thing as I just did, because I really felt good about that set. Now I'm turning the glass of water. I'm trying different angles here. And I'm swinging. And that's okay. Dude, swing at the end. Everyone that tells you if you're swinging, you're doing it wrong, it's completely bullshit. You need to push your body to its limits. And if you just do the quote unquote proper way where you're not using kinetic energy, whatever you want to call it, to get the weight up, you want to do things proper, 100% to start off with. But when you get to a point where you're hitting failure and you need to cheat a little bit, I mean, cheat. You know, you have to get those last few reps. So are you telling me that if I should just not do those reps if I can't get them up? No, get them up, man. Like, so, you know, I'm not trying to encourage you guys to do stuff where you're swinging weight around, but if you watch the top bodybuilders on the planet over the last decades, Arnold did it, Ronnie did it, Cutler did it, you know, Platts did it, everybody. Dorian Yates, you know, like you push yourself to your body to a limit. And in order to do that, sometimes you have to do swinging reps, and it's okay to do that at the end. Just don't start out doing it. Here's what I'm trying to say. The little skinny kid at the gym that's got 80-pound dumbbells in his hand, they're trying to show off and do curls with 80-pound dumbbells. Why the hell are you doing that? You know, I would never even try to curl 80-pound dumbbells, and I'm a decent-sized guy and pretty strong. But you don't need to do that. So that's when the whole swinging is BS. When you're doing 35 pounds, 40 pounds, and you're going to failure, and you have to start swinging at the end to get them, that's when it's okay. So, sorry, longer little rant there. Now I'm gonna go right back into shrugs. As you can just watch the reflection in the mirror over there, you'll see that I'm really on my toes and I'm leaning my body forward to counteract the weight, because honestly, if I was standing straight up, the weight would pull me back into the machine. So if you're ever gonna do this like I am, on a cable machine, this is the way to do it, where you're leaning forward. And you'll feel it. And you're trapped more. Now, my video got really long-winded yesterday. I'm almost 45 minutes. So I'm working on being more efficient. But I found out that I like to talk a lot, which is crazy because I'm not a talker. But this is kind of I'm in my zone when I'm in here working out. So this is kind of really easy for me to kind of go down these rabbit holes and talk. But I'm gonna get into another set or two so that I'm not dragging this video out. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna go into upright rows. And again, here I go rambling again. As a youngster, I'd like to use the easy bar and do them like this, but I've really gotten to like the dumbbell version of these because you can kind of control it. And honestly, again, as a kid, I'm told to come all the way up to kind of hit your chin, and that's good, but when you do that, you're spinning your wrists, and so you're really involving a lot of your rear delts, which is good, but I just did rear delts. I just did them, and I did them pretty good. So to take that out, I do dumbbells, and I just keep them up here, where I'm not coming all the way up here with the barbell. Hopefully I explained that properly. But again, both of those are good. Having the having the barbell and spinning it at the top and coming to your chin is good. That's a great way to do it. But because I've already done that with the rear delt exercises of the cables, I'm just gonna keep this, you know, as high as I can get it. This isn't a lot of weight, it's 30 pounds. I'm gonna go up to 40. But controlling that weight, and you can see my front delts are involved in this, man. My rear delts are involved in it. I can feel, obviously, the intended target is the middle of the delts, or just the deltoids in general, the shoulders. This is really a hard exercise to beat when it comes to building shoulders like boulders, man. Shoulders like boulders. So you can keep a weight that you're comfortable with. And I think a lot of you guys that are going to commercial gyms will have to learn. You know, I have the luxury to I have my own gym set up in here. You can only see one area, but I've got everything that I can need in here. So my point is I don't have to wait. So when you get to a gym and you're having to wait on the military press, you're having to wait on, you know, a certain machine, learning different ways to do a body part, and so that way you're not sitting around, is good. So you kind of go into the gym with the mindset that you're going to do shoulders and you're going to do a certain exercises. And if that's not available, then go pick up dumbbells and do this instead of doing presses. All right, back to shrugs one more time, and I'll finish. I'm going to do more. I'm going to do a few more sets, but I don't want to run this video much longer. Eventually I'm going to learn to kind of edit, and I'll be able to do voiceovers and be instructional that way. But I just feel like for now, this is what it is. This is how I'm going to do my videos to start off with. It'll only get better from here, I guess you could say. Again, that's not a whole lot of weight, honestly, because the cable, 200 pounds. So, you know, when I finish here, I'll probably do some barbell after I turn the camera off and do a strip set with some barbell shrugs to kind of completely blast these out. But again, I'm trying to keep this within a proper time frame. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna do one more set, and then I'll wrap this up. But I'll give you my spiel now. Read the description down below. You can kind of catch up on my story. I'm doing my first bodybuilding show, and I'm under 14 weeks now. Again, it's kind of a bucket list thing for me. So I started this YouTube page a couple months ago, about 3 or 4 months ago. I started it for another reason, and it's kind of taken a turn into my bodybuilding journey and my fitness journey. But
You can read down below in the description what I mean by that, and kind of my past and my present and what I'm doing with my future. So I appreciate the like and the subscribe so you can keep up with me. Obviously leave your comments, and I'd like to answer any questions if you have them. So thanks and God bless. I'm gonna do one more step and I'm gonna turn the camera off and let y'all get on with your day. Go Cowboys. I'm gonna get 21 of these. I think that's 16 years old. Oh, got 15, 16. All right, guys. Till next time. Appreciate you.